the makings of a good match. Again, two baby faces and one heel. So it's the upside of the faces here, which sometimes in these matches, and I know it's a stupid thing to look at and critique, but trust me, when you go back in history and you look at the formula, it very seldomly works when it's more baby faces and less heels. But we'll wait and see. Maybe this could be the exception for both these matches. Matt, what are you expecting from this one? And are you a little bit more... Are you more into this one than the United States one, or do you think they're a little bit equal in terms of this is just something for these guys to do?
Well, I'm going to say I'm expecting the exception. Mm-hmm. I think this will be a good one. I mean, that match that I saw on Raw, and it was Seth and Finn, that was easily match of the night on that night.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no doubt about it. We're talking about three of the top kind of quality guys, and Miz, he might not be on the level like athletically of Seth and Finn, but his ring IQ is like brilliant. He'll come in at the right moments and throw in the right spots at just the right time. No doubt about that. I feel like this might get given a little bit more time than the Fatal 4, even. I kind of feel. I feel like we're talking about Seth Rollins, who was a guy who was proper on top of the business not too long ago.
Yep.
Finn was destined for that. So I feel like just to do these guys justice, at least give them like 25 minutes. Come on.
Yeah. A few people have been asking, are we going to get the Demon character? I've been emailing back and saying no. Do you think there's a possibility that the Demon character gets used because it's WrestleMania, or do you think that they're going to wait, or whatever they're doing with that at the moment? I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of a disappointment, isn't it? That character's kind of just been, forgotten about by WWE. This left that. I would say, there's almost no chance for me that he's coming in with that kind of character. It's one of those things where the way they've been talking about it, it's as if he has to go to another kind of level. It's almost coming about like when Mick Foley would talk about Cactus Jack. He has to bring him out of the bag, just to up the ante a little bit.
Yeah, it's a shame because I think he was one of the best performers on the Royal Rumble night, and I was expecting some quite big things for him at this stage, but that's not to be. It is the Intercontinental level. I think it's going to be a good match. I mean, again, I think three quality guys, like Matt said, match of the week, the other week between Seth and so where this goes on the card, I'm not too sure for the pacing of it. Hopefully, it gets a decent time. In terms of the winner, Matt, lots of people were pretty much on Finn Balor, but in the last couple of days, even the bookies have changed their mind and they've gone back with the Miz to retain this belt, which is, and again, if you want to look outside of the realm of the WWE grapevines, you think, well, Maurice has just given birth. Are they going to give Miz some time off now? And I guess that's what people are thinking about, Matt. But then again, don't forget, Zack Ryder won the belt and then he lost it the night after, so they could always pull that one out of the hat as well on Raw. So, what's the prediction for you, Matt, on this one?
This is a really difficult one to call, really, because I'd almost split it equally between the three of them. They all have that claim and that right to actually have it. It's a little bit harder for Seth because it's a bit of a downgrade for him. I still believe he should be on the top kind of tier of wrestlers. But in saying that, so should Finn, I guess. But I would say I'd go with Finn to win it because he needs a title, really. I mean, he had one, but it wasn't for very long, was it? So no. I feel like this would be one that actually gets him back on that ladder.
I'm going against the grains here, Matt. We're kind of choosing a lot of different ones, which I guess is a good sign for WrestleMania when they can throw things like this up at you and people don't, even though it looks obvious, maybe to a lot of people, even it's maybe not as clear cut as we think. But I've gone with the Miz retaining here this night. I just feel they may want you to think like that, especially having him on commentary the other night and the way he was talking. But I've got a feeling that he's going to retain and lose the title soon after, shall we say. I do think he won't be keeping the belt too much longer. But I think they're going to give him a WrestleMania victory here because he's always tended not to win at WrestleMania. In fact, the last time he probably did get a clear one was when he actually peaked on Cena, thanks to The Rock. And that one went not too great, did it? Okay, well, that's sort of bringing us now to sort of the higher end spectrum of the card, I guess, Matt. But before we do, just want to talk a brief bit about WrestleMania review that's going to come on Monday. I want to encourage everybody to get in on the act on that one. It's going to be a big one. Me and Matt are expecting a marathon show for sure on that one. I'm sure there's going to be lots of fallout. But also something that's going on tonight, depending on when you're listening to this podcast, of course. If you're listening to us with us on Friday, you'll know that tonight is the Hall of Fame ceremony. The inductees are in, and Matt, you've even said that you're going to check this one out. And I don't think you normally watch these as much, do you? But you've been quite interested in this year's, haven't you?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's definitely a variety of people in there, and all with some pretty interesting stories, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. We've got the likes of Hillbilly Jim is going in, and we've got Mark Henry. We've got Goldberg. You've got Jeff Jarrett. Who'd ever think of that? And some incredible talent all round. Of course, the Warrior Award's going to be on there. Now, the interesting thing for me, whenever I watch the Hall of Fame, a little bit of a zap for this, but I always watch their version of a red carpet, which is never like a real red carpet. Like, when they do it in proper awards, they just try and be like the Oscars or something, but it's always their own cameras. It's always their own press. It's not like they've got outside press going, "Can we talk to you? Come on." It's always WWE people from all over the place. But it is what it is, and it's all in house. It's all internal, but it's good fun. But what's cool about it is whenever they get to the interview stage, Matt, and they start interviewing people on the red carpet, and they go up on the big Titantron, and you get that reaction of the fans. It's like almost like a pre-warning to what could happen at WrestleMania, and the last few years, every single time Roman Reigns comes in there and he's standing with his wife, and then it's showing him, no matter whatever he says, it's boo. And of course, that gives you that indication of what the weekend's going to be like for him. But that always interests me, always fascinates me to see who is over with the sort of fans that are going to these ones beforehand, that are going to be in and around and showing up at WrestleMania. But yeah, just to give, I was going to go through this a bit more, but we're going to give a little brief thing here just to some of the top billing guys. Of course, we know some of the guys now who are inducting people. We're going to start at the top. Bill Goldberg, Matt, definitely, should be in the Hall of Fame. You consider the streak, the matches he's had, and people will argue, well, he never had a 5-star match and all this type of stuff. But he's unique, Matt, wasn't he? And he was. I know that we done on our old wrestling podcast. I said at the time, him versus Stone Cold Steve Austin in, maybe 1999, I will say, about that year when they were both really formed as, the top guys. I think if that would have been, Jesus, I don't think you'd have got a bigger match than that. I mean, Bill Goldberg was as popular. And you'd never think that out of the realms of WWF. You think, who could be as popular, than... And I'm not talking about guys that shipped over from WWF like Hulk Hogan and Nash. I'm talking about just pure WCW colours. I don't think they've ever come up with anything more better than Bill Goldberg, Matt. I think it's something that WWE would have desired to have back then in a lot of ways, and they wish they would have probably have come up with something like him with that streak. Again, I'll never understand the politics as to how he bloody lost it, but never mind. But for you, Matt, right person to go in this, and do you look at him as his Hall of Fame is achieved from WCW, or is there a part of you that believes that he also did earn it in WWE in the run, well, the first run he had when he came in for a while, a year, and then of course very recently last year, for about 3 or 4 months?
Yeah, I kind of feel like it was majorly about the WCW portion of his career. Yeah. I feel like the WWE ones were just like sort of running by the numbers there, just another way to pick up a kind of paycheck. The feuds were kind of underwhelming there, and I'm not really sure how they got to that point where he could be misused like that, but they clearly didn't understand, or people up above were just trying to make some money out of him. I'm not sure he was given a fair crack of it at that time. But yeah, no doubt, people like Eric Bischoff and that, they saw what he was and they used him to his full potential.
Absolutely. What do you make of the person that's putting him in, Paul Heyman? That's a weird choice, isn't it?
It's very weird, actually. I'm not sure the kind of connections they have. I'm hoping like on the night Paul will enlighten me a little bit and give me quite a interesting little story about what's brought this about.
Yeah, you wonder if he's going to give him the same sort of build that he gives Brock every week, don't you? You know, the reigning. Yeah, it's interesting because you think in WCW times, Matt. I mean, Paul Heyman, when Goldberg was, Paul Heyman was in WCW, but when the time Goldberg came along, he was the ECW guy. I mean, he was not anywhere near that. So you wonder, is it a friendship that's just come along in the last, 12 months or, 16 months or whatever it is since he come back again? Is this where the relationships come from? Did he, have something to do with bringing him back? Did he, talk to him and Brock? I mean, we know Brock and Goldberg get on quite well outside of the ring, so I'm sure there's a relationship there. I think we had a lot of emails saying, why is it not Eric Bischoff or why is it not a WCW guy? But I'm sure, like Matt said, hopefully we'll find out as to the reason of all that. Talking about another guy who went from WWE, sorry, in 1999, was Jeff Jarrett, Matt, and I've got to say, I never expected Jeff Jarrett to be inducted in the Hall of Fame this year at all. I did not see that one coming whatsoever. Here's a guy who's, not just because of him leaving WWE, by the way, and going to WCW, that's nothing to do with it, but just the fact, Matt, that he's had so much influence in TNA, he's made in other companies, he's much of a promoter that he is, he's also a wrestler. He's pretty much the same thing for him. And he's not always had great words to say about the WWE in the past, in shoot interviews and everything else. But I was watching a few of his clips this week that he's been carrying around like a little diary thing, a little vlog thing that they've been doing on YouTube. I think I sent you a couple, Matt. I don't know what ones I sent you, but man, he got really choked up when he was talking about the idea of who you sort of like. They sort of asked him the question like, who you most sort of worried, like eagerly awaiting to see again, and he said Vince McMahon, and he just absolutely broke down in tears. And I think he kind of put it across in a way to me, Matt, that suggested that he, maybe had said a few things that he never thought he'd ever get that opportunity to have this moment. Which I guess in a lot of ways, Matt, WWE, they always do at some point forgive. And it's good that they do that. But was you as surprised as I was, Matt, with Jeff Jarrett? I know we spoke about this when it happened, but I'm still a little bit shocked, to be honest, that he's walking around and, he was at SmackDown the other week and, it looks like he could have a career going on in WWE as well.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that he has been brought in this year. There's been a few times when his projects haven't gone the way that he planned. The phone call didn't ring then.
Yeah.
It just kind of feels like just as one thing's wrapping up for him, he can easily dip into another thing. It always seems to be something that's at odds with WWE as well, like an alternative brand, like we said about TNA and that, and then it was Global Force. It always seems like there's a bit of competition, but maybe WWE look beyond that now and feel like all competition is kind of healthy now. No doubt they've benefited well from it with the talent that they have brought in over the last few years.
Absolutely. And of course Road Dogg will be inducting him, who I joked about, and now he is. And are we going to see that song in the Hall of Fame, Matt?
Oh, you can only hope, can't you? Bring back those memories.
My wheel. God, what a tune. What a magical tune that is. Talk about theme tunes. What about that one then? I know. I'm happy to see him. A lot of rumours going around, Matt. We've had Jimbo, Wrestler Squad number 9. He says 100% Jeff Jarrett will be the SmackDown general manager. What do you say to that, Matt?
Oh, that's a good call there, isn't it? It could be Raw just as much though, because after the way Kurt Angle's been acted, you kind of feel like he's not long for the job as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like SmackDown would be a good place for him. He'd be well liked by the fans, I feel, because a lot of people will remember him from his last WWE appearance. Even though he's done a lot since then, there's a lot of nostalgic fans.
Of course, another guy who's going to be inducted by the Big Show, who's just recently signed a deal, is Mark Henry. People blowing hot and cold about this one, Matt. Some people say he deserves it, some people absolutely not. He's either got one or the other. For you, Matt, is this guy a Hall of Famer guy? And, for you, would he go in?
Yeah, I mean, just his longevity says it all, you know. And, you know, the fact that he has